Talk, text, and browse all you want with AfriCell Yeah Mix. Terms and conditions apply.
AfriCell. Now we network.
It's Cammy, baby.
Sierra Leone 2019, The Evolution. The biggest musical entertainment event ever in the history of Sierra Leone is back again this year with 10 nations, 1 mic, 1 arena, 1 Africa. We're bringing the rest of Africa to SL on the 30th of November 2019 at the Shaka Stevens Stadium in Freetown. Starting at 6 p.m., back-to-back musical performances, stars from all 10 nations will thrill you with trending hits. So if you they sleep, not for a grab. Nigeria will be represented by Slim Case, Abiba from Senegal, dancehall diva Sophia from Gambia, Kobazi from Liberia, Instinct Killers from Guinea, and from Ghana, Kitty and the Ladies Magnet, that's Kwame Eugene. Uganda, the legendary Josie Chameleon. Say Grin from Malawi, and from Tanzania, the only human that glows in the dark, that's Diamond Platinum. From the host team,
it's Cammy, baby.
Rose Sakota, Crack Twist and Samza, I Tried, Future K, MIC, Locks P. Team Sierra Leone will be represented by K-Man the Bingo Man, Famous Famous, Innocence, Morris, Star ZZ, Akman, Empress P, Dallas B, and King Boss LA. But that's not all, because there'll be guys there that are guaranteed to make you laugh, like Desmond Binya, Kendo Armani, Faculty, Ye Matza, Richie Obama, Oga Wawa. Guest MCs will be Basketmouth from Nigeria and our very own celebrity Vivian Swell of AYV. You can miss out on every event this year in Freetown, but you don't want to miss this. It's EchoFest 2019, The Evolution. Saturday, 30th November in Freetown, starting at 6 p.m. It's proudly brought to you by Kabaka Multimedia and Entertainment in collaboration with Cribs International, Empire Entertainment Ghana, proudly sponsored by Crystal Clear Water, Mercury International, Newswatch Newspaper and Magazine, AYV Media Empire, Radio Democracy, and much more. Powered by AfriCell.
Radio Democracy, the true voice of the people.
For news, views, and entertainment, stay tuned to Society for Radio Democracy. 98.1, simply the best.
Radio Democracy, supported by ASIWA and powered by AfriCell.
Radio Democracy, the true voice of the people.
For news, views, and entertainment, stay tuned to Society for Radio Democracy. 98.1, simply the best.
Radio Democracy, the true voice of the people.
Studios now New Englandville. Good morning and welcome to other edition of the program Good Morning Salone, where they come to you from 98.1 FM. Today na Thursday, November 21, 2019. Where they bring the program come to you. Mina Asma James.
And Mina Khadija Bangura, good morning. Inside the program this Thursday morning, President Julius Maada Bio say, in government no go allow girl picking them we get belly for go school.
You can go back to school after you give birth, but to sit in the same class as all the others is not acceptable.
Justice Bankole Thompson na court instrument 65 na the Commission of Inquiry don give ruling say the commission for do public hearing per first time president Ernest Baikoma in property them where the commission they investigate now. And today inside the program, Radio Democracy go look inside concern them where some member of parliament and civil society them get, but the year 2020 budget where parliament they debate now.
Well, this and plenty others to read them, plus as over 10 people where parliaments don't approve for working at different government institutions them don't take the oath of office before President Bio. The new Minister of Gender and Children's Affairs, Manti Tarawali, don't assure the President and the public say then the new minister them go work for promote all government's national development program them. Wakaboto na part of the program. Yourself for the listening can be part of the program through your text message on any of the issues that we discussed this morning to the AfriCell number 077-981-981. The program now Good Morning Salone and it come to you from 98.1 FM.
We dey continue the program, and with the first issue we'll go look at inside the program this Thursday morning. We dey go na Parliament. Also, a member of Parliament them. Sorry, don't begin look inside the 2020 budget with the Deputy Minister of Finance don't lay na Parliament Wednesday, November 20th this year. The member of Parliament for constituency. The member of Parliament na Bombali District, Honorable Saliu Osise, say the government through the Minister of Finance for pay more attention for address the bread and butter issue for Salone people. But the chairman for the Finance Committee na Parliament, we same way so na member of Parliament for constituency 02 na Kenema District, Honorable Francis Kaisamba say government don add over 300 billion loans na the agriculture sector, and they pay more attention for agriculture for make them work proper one for tap for they bring plenty thing them for commotes and other country. Radio Democracy Elizabeth Campbell be there yesterday in Parliament. Also MP them start for debate the budget, and they go now report.
This na the 2020 budget, where dem call the Appropriation Bill 2020, with the theme Fiscal Consolidation for Human Capacity Development and Job Creation, where the Deputy Minister of Finance, Dr. Patricia Lavalley, go lay na the well of Parliament. For make member of Parliament them debate am for the second term, Dr. Patricia Lavalley been start for read the different allocation them, where the government don't make to ministry, departments and agency them, and talk about the couple way government go spend na them priority area them for the year 2020. For human capacity development, the total budget allocation for the education sector na about 1.4 trillion loans, when about 22% of the country budget. The health sector na about 670 billion loans, when about 11% of the total budget. Agriculture na about 348 billion loans, when at 6%. Ministry of Trade, 22 billion loans allocation for support the micro, small and medium enterprise. It be continue for read the other allocation them, where the ministry be make to other MDA them.
Our expenditure priorities for next year is as follows. Our wage bill is projected to increase from 3.2 trillion in 2020 from 2.59 trillion in 2019. We plan to recruit 5,000 teachers, 3,000 health sector workers, and 1,000 police officers next year. We've also introduced payment to mayors, chairpersons, and their deputies, as well as introduced sitting fees and transport allowances for our councillors. We also intend to increase remuneration to our paramount chiefs. With respect to the medium-term National Development Plan,
after where the Deputy Minister of Finance, Dr. Patricia Lavalley, don't read the 2020 budget before the Member of Parliament them, the Speaker of Parliament, Honorable Dr. Abbas Chernobundu, be announced to the Member of Parliament them for start for debate the 2020 budget. This be make the main opposition Member of Parliament for constituency 28 Nakambia District, Honorable Saliu Osise, be raised concern about the bread and butter issue, where he say na call for concern. Also, he say the government through the Ministry of Finance for concentrate more for address the bread and butter issue for Salone people.
But we are now going down to more than 18 months. The bread and butter issue still remains a very, very important topic to the ordinary man. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, honorable members, why the minister is struggling to address the bread and butter issue? The issue here is the minister or the Minister of Finance and this government interested more in satisfying the IMF than looking into the welfare of the ordinary people. This is why, even when you look at the title, it's all about fiscal consolidation for human capital.
Honorable Saliu Osise talk about sitting them for it where he said on dear na the country. This be make the chairman na the Finance Committee na Parliament, where same way so na Member of Parliament for constituency 020 na Kenema District, Honorable Francis Amara Kaisamba, under the ruling SLPP party, talk about the copper where government don't add na the agriculture sector, and how this go help for reduce the plenty copper where government they spend for imports tin them for it like rest come na the country. He talk about how government they try for give more strength na the water, light, health, education, and other area them where he say all lentia where government they do na for make it all water, and this is say go address the bread and butter issue. Now that's make it say government decide for diversify the economy for make sure say they not rely on the mining company, even though government don't put one side plenty copper for get rank na the mining sector.
Mr. Speaker, the government said we are going to diversify the economy because we rely on the mining sector in this country. And so in diversifying, government spoke of agriculture, fisheries and tourism. And agriculture is one sector we have to pay keen attention to because the amount of money the government uses per month, for example, to import rice so huge. If we can be self-sufficient only in rice production, to feed ourselves, then we can save all of those and use some other sector. I'm sure we can mitigate even the exchange rate variable. Government allocated 348.8 billion to agriculture. And they want to admonish the Minister of Agriculture, the Minister and his officials, that they have to work extra to ensure that we make agriculture viable in this country. That we make agriculture our business. But that is the only way we stop the importation of almost everything and probably the export of very meager, small things. And so fisheries, this budget is people-centered. This budget will solve the bread and butter issue. We have a responsibility to improve on our electricity. We have done a lot, but I'm not sure we are there yet. We still have problems with electricity. 127.5 billion from the current budget to the Ministry of Energy to ensure that both S and EGTC do their job. The budget overall and its outlook is a very good project. I haven't seen much controversy in it.
Honorable Francis Amara Kaisamba say government don't put one side but 500 million loans for make young people them wait up na the province able get local work where go put scope on them pockets. The 2020 budget is say go help for give more job to people them na the country, even though challenge them there but the foreign rates na the country. One member of parliament from the Coalition for Change Party, Honorable Sir Charles, Nakono District, say this are the first time where the people them na Salone de Yeri say government's not ready for address the issue of bread and butter, but raise concern about the over 100 million loans where governments they give to road maintenance fund administration and the civic education where is a government to establish for over 1 year now, but not see waiting them they do.
The first time in the history of this government, they have acknowledged the fact that indeed the much talked about bread and butter was part of their message during the campaign. As for the first time, the people of Sierra Leone has had a budget that the minister himself described as a bread and butter budget. So it means the cry of the people to answer in the area of bread and butter is reality. This government indeed owe it to the people of this nation that the issue of bread and butter must be addressed. So we're thinking about it this time around and describing this budget as the bread and butter budget is a step in the right direction. A huge fund is allocated to the road maintenance fund. Like the coming financial year 2020, we have allocated over 100 million to road maintenance funds administration. When you check our roads, how well is this administration maintaining the roads? The National Council for Civic Education and Development has been established for over a year. What have they done so far? Now, this government is allocating to them over 10 billion.
Speaker after speaker been continue for touch on the different issue them we get for do with the 2020 budget, and this budget they carry on for 3 days na the well of Parliament. For Radio Democracy, Mina Elizabeth Campbell the reports.
7:42 now the time for my studio clock, and we continue with the program Good Morning Salone, where they come to you from 98.1 FM. As I will be telling Una earlier on, where they bring the program come to Una, Mina Asma James
and Mina Khadija Bangura.
Well, today this morning we go look at as member them don't begin look inside the 2020 budget. Outside the Deputy Minister of Finance holding a Parliament Wednesday, November 20 for the second term. The member them of Parliament for constituency Nabombali District, Honorable Saliu OCCC, government with the Ministry of Finance for pay attention for address the issue them within now the country. But I want to come over to the studio guest them. We get two members of Parliament this morning, Honorable Ibrahim Tawa Conte, where they represent constituency 132 around Lumley, and he come out from the SLPP party. Good morning and welcome to the program.
Good morning, Asma. Good morning, Nancy.
We also get Honorable Abdul Kabo. He represents constituency 077, Napot Local District. Good morning and welcome to the program. We come out from the APC party, and also now the program this morning we want to welcome Abubakar Kamara, coordinator Budget Advocacy Network BAN, we on the monitor government expenditure for make sure say transparency they through the budgets and also the Finance Act. Well, now all them people will get this morning for can look at the budgets and also what's in the happen at Parliament. I will start with you, Abubakar Kamara from BAN Budget Advocacy Network. Get over 7 organizations them. We inside you get 3 international organizations them. Win Action Aid, Christian Aid, and Search for Common Ground. For the local organizations them, and get 4. We na CGG, NMJD, and all Transparency International and Wabin. Then 7 organizations here, year after year, can look at the budgets and also the Finance Act for make sure say transparency the inside there. Well, for this year, una look come out late before from now una cannot begin from the process where the budgets hearing can start. But these 3 positions are now una pull press release. Well, Mr. Abubakar there and he will tell we waiting on the happen for the year 2019 to 2020. Usai press the Minister of Finance before go read the budget in the Parliament. Good morning once more. Welcome to the program.
Good morning, Asma, and good morning, Sierra Leonean.
All right, give me updates.
First of all, I just want to say the instruments where government they use for provide services for the citizens of Sierra Leone, now the national budget. I mean, whatever you look at it, apart from the Constitution, now one of the most important documents because now in the tool, in the engine for ensure say the citizens they receive goods and services for the benefit of everybody. The 2019 budget with the Minister of Finance bill in Parliament, it began very good ambitions them in terms of how they intend to address various issues them, starting from education, health, works, roads, and all the rest of it. But one of the concerns we don't observe over the years is that they can present a very good plans, but at the end of the day, the respective ministry, department, and agencies not can get all the money they require for provide the necessary services them. And as a result, one of the things we don't need to call is that citizens them will be left without thoroughly satisfied by the government in terms of the budget allocation way then they provide. So we do a study where we call after study we call budget credibility, where they actually have to look at revenue and expenditure as per how they be plan them and in terms of what actually don't happen. And one of the things we observe is that there is still huge challenge in terms of government meeting its disbursement to the respective ministry, department, agency. This one become they very clear now the budget discussion process where MDAs they can present them, they can get updates in terms of what they give them, what they plan for giving as against what they give them. I mean, it would be certainly for no say some ministries then they would get more than what they actually approve them for. Why majority will be deprived, not getting the required approved resources where they're supposed to forget. And one thing is, once the budget going to Parliament is approved, it now becomes a law followed and spent. Of course, the ministry can provide a whole lot of challenges them in terms of risks, where then they expect say and go for affect the budget. We go make them able to meet them either the revenue focus or the expenditure focus. But this don't become a pattern over the past 10 to 15 years. So one of the things where the minister then say this year is that, as part of the budget discussion, is they want to ensure say waiting they say then they provide, then could provide by the end of the year. So in fact, that's one of the reasons why we see some ministries then we see a decrease in their allocations. We see ministry they get, for example, 8 million. 2020 now we see the government the initial allocation they provide like 6 million or 7 million. What the justification they give, they want to ensure say they become very much realistic. So it's good that the Minister of Finance don't even acknowledge that particular aspect. They say over the years, then don't become over ambitious in short way that they need to provide all the resources where they're supposed from it. We also see in a situation wherein a lot of laws, policies were proposed, and both from the expenditure side and from the revenue aspect. On the expenditure side, we do a monitoring of the revenue side. We do a monitor of the policies them we government propose for 2019, and we observe that indeed they do a lot of the revenue measures then what they propose for do. But the most important thing is how revenue measures and expenditure measures they translate into providing the basic services of ordinary Israelian. So that connection is not been fully achieved yet by the government. Even though they did meet some of the expenditure and revenue measures, but how that it translates into providing basic services. We acknowledge the fact that education budget has been increased by virtue of the fact that now the president in flagship project. But we also observe that health expenditure, they decrease. And what I mean decrease, we have to look at the actual expenditure, not what them propose. For example, in 2018, it got decided for no say, government actual expenditure on health now reach up to 7%. And if you look at the proposed was up to like 10.5%. So this now the budget credibility issues and way I talk about. So if basic social services like health we get an approved budget by parliament, and at the end of the year we see say what is approved, they're not able to get the required resources. And this now the social sector then way almost every Israeli they come in contact with health, education. So therefore, for we want to see how the government will be very much realistic and increase their budget credibility for ensure say waiting they approve at least close to that is actually disbursed, and not only disbursed, the aspect of disbursement on time. Because over there, I'll find out say, of course, late disbursement is something very much common. And then they affect service delivery. For example, in terms of health an emergency MDA. If person is sick today, they need to postpone the sickness. It requires medicine, it requires personnel, it requires the equipment for treatment.
As you say, Mr. Kamara, as you say, less disbursement of the budget to the different MDA them don't be a bit challenging for let them go able for implement them various program them where they affect service delivery. But the Minister of Finance inside his statement na Parliament, it make them clear say na the third quarter of the budget year they're able to achieve 86% of the thing them within inside the 2019 budget. Una don dey monitor the implementation and the disbursement of funds. How realistic the statement be?
The thing where the minister talk now like the policy commitment that would be proposed 2019, and we deeper critically look at them for actually confirmed whether actually 86% of them do actually, because from a preliminary analysis we find out that there are still a lot of challenges in terms of achieving some of the policy commitments in the, and more especially around the expenditure measures, around the aspect of developing policies and laws. Mind you, the budget, they also provide and clause them where they give lead government for them develop certain policies and laws them where they gear towards providing services. So on that, we critically look at them. In fact, we don't get a draft in terms of what they tell we of the policies then we them propose. How most of them they don't actually complete? How most of them still ongoing? How most of them they off track? How most of them they really they in track? Hopefully, in the next couple of weeks, probably next 1 week, we will publish that information there for let citizens and clearly see what the minister say 2019 as against what don't do. And we will also use that as a basis for also follow up on the 2020 budget.
All right, continue for the between the program. Abubakar Kamara from BAN. We will can look at the 2020 budget. We Parliament they look inside now. Well, as soon as also be earlier on this morning, we get two members of Parliament. We come out from the SLPP and also APC because then they look at this budget now. Who side then will later agree and government go begin for implement them. Well, we all don't see or don't read or hear, but the new arguments in Parliament, but the impress of the president, vice president, who say member of Parliament, they against say speaker for hard day as they not for reports any impress we come out from the office of the president and the vice president. But before we can look at that one, we want to start generally for look at this budget. I want to start with you, Honorable Ibrahim Tawa Conte, where they represent constituency 132. Minister of Finance go lay this budget in Parliament last Friday. Waiting you as Member of Parliament make up of this, of the whole budget.
Thank you very much, Asma. Once more, good morning, Sierra Leone. The budget we the Minister of Finance go lay in Parliament quite recently, we in the appropriation bill, we get both the policy commitment and the policy agenda for the government over the medium term, the short and medium term, as well as the projected allocations the way government they think say they want for use for implement the budget and the appropriation bill itself. For me, na part of government responsibility. Don't see government after government they go lay the budget, and the budget not just a projection of what the government intend for do. And from the policy statement in this particular budget, the 2020 budget, where the minister read in November, I think the policies they're very good. I think the policies they're positive, and then they look forward to the issues the way we face as a country. They look at addressing the issue of the major issue where everybody they talk about and everybody lead with the issue of bread and butter. But you implementation of the budget, it was also part of my submission during the second reading, that in as much as we don't able to meet and surpass our revenue generation targets, there is also a major challenge. And the major challenge we'll get now, how would they manage your expenditure? How would they meet your expenditure over time? And if you look at government expenditure, 85% of government expenditure is tied in between three items. One, non-salary and non-recurrent expenditure. Two, salary expenditure, and three, debt servicing. So of them three or so, what thing we able to do as parliament, or what thing we able to do as agent of government for help government for ensure say we able to write back some money into the consolidated fund, we go meet government expenditure without adding any pressure to the budget or without adding any pressure to the revenue generated. I also state in that contribution say without donor support, without grants, the budget performance month on month na negative variance in the day, because we revenue all they generate in as much as it high in the areas of we all now that enable me to expenditure, because we expenditure don't tie into them three things there. So the projections over the medium term, if you look at the medium term strategy of the budget, the minister don't say one for scale up investment in agriculture, tourism, one for see if the mining sector will revamp, and all of that are projections, all of that are assumption.
All right, we'll come back to you. May we look at the hearing proper, but I'll come over again to you, Honorable Abdul Kagbo, representing Port Local District 077 under the APC. What do you think about the whole budget where the Minister of Finance became a parliament?
Well, basically, as provided for by law, now the responsibility of the Minister of Finance for read the budget annually in Parliament. And basically, this one way it reads, so we look at and keenly, because when you look at Annex 1 of the budget, we do a calculation. The calculation that if for know your total budget deficit, that waiting you get for spend, where you not get, nine at the budget deficit. And where you look at the total revenue plus the grant, you minus your expenditure and you net lending. Now they show waiting at the total money where you want spend, where you not get. And when we look the budget keenly after then calculations, then we can for realize the budget deficit now 1.114 trillion. So meaning the government they propose for spend waiting then get, and they also they left 1.114 trillion where they not get, where they also get for they don't allocate out for spender. So meaning the budget deficit that is waiting they not get where they want spend is too high. It alarming for a nation like Sierra Leone. You can agree with me that recently the MCC report shows on fiscal policy the rates we 4%. We're very appalling. and inflation also 11%. We're very appalling. So if we they get a budget where the deficit, that is waiting government wants spend where they not get it, now 1.114 trillion, is also alarming. And when you look, waiting, we ask ourselves the inevitable rhetoric. How government get forget that money day? The only way government they do forget that money day, now through borrowing. It can be internal borrowing, it can be external borrowing. And when you dey borrow, you dey increase on the external and internal debt, then also you dey create pressure for the economy. So to we actually mean they look at judicious spending of state resources, especially at a time when we know say the country they face challenges, you know. And when we look, most of them resources they are within they spend, they go into the creation of new offices. We see the new embassies the way they don't create. We see the new ministries the way they don't create. We see the new even deputy ambassadors the way they don't create. All of the embassies then they get budgetary allocation. Even the one the way we get right now, we're not able to sustain them that much. You could not believe it that even Liberia, you know, for a quarter now $4,000 then they give them. You see, so you ask yourself, say, if you're not able to maintain the one the way now existing embassies, then why do you need to create more embassies for create pressure on the budget? Right, why do you need for create other offices then for create pressure on the budget? So we they spend as if we they get money, and when you look the money what would they get? Not much.
All right, Honorable, we'll come back to you. The time for my studio clock now 8 o'clock. Will they take this short commercial break? We'll come back. We'll continue for looking inside the Finance Act of 2020 and the budget for the year 2020.
Salone Commercial Bank don't come with new banking products them for make life easy. With Million Online Bank and Million Mobile App, you can able for use Salone Link money transfer for send money to anybody like you not get bank account. Transfer or receive money na the same bank or any other bank. Transfer money to person or office like you not get the account number. Buy Ed Salite, pay other bill them, and now get advanced salary. You don't need for worry again, but almost money then you earn. Because you can able for pay for things the way you buy in a supermarket and other shop them with the quick response code payment. Yagbadon done for the boss man them. With Beyond Online Direct, you can upload salary, pay all your supplier them, sell forex to Salone Commercial Bank, and watch your account anytime. If you need the app, download them from Google Play Store or any Apple Store, or go to Salone Commercial Bank website www.slcb.com. Sierra Leone Commercial Bank, delivering value.
Commercial Bank. 2 minutes after 8, and the time for the studio clock. We continue with the program. We will come back to the studio guest them inside the program, Good Morning Salone. But let me look at other issues. Because of the plenty challenge with the education sector, don't they get over the past year, make Osiwa don't give support to the Ministry of Basic and Senior Secondary Education for implement the early childhood development project as way for make them PKR were able for right proper one. Joe Pemabi and the country manager for Osiwa Salone. He talk more to Usman Kamara.
Early childhood development, really the investment where people they make for ensure say we picking them from where they at the belly to where they reach like then 7-8 years, then really they as good human being then that they come up fine from both the health perspective, when at the well body side, but also social, see how they relate with other people then, but also how them brain then they develop. You know, not all in the early childhood they about. But also we also bring on board the health aspect and the education component. All of them and they're very, very important. So it's about how we help the picking them before them born and after we them born for make them be healthy and good citizens, good people in our society.
Okay, now when I fund the program, we now the first set of Sierra Leone and picture book. Why, as an organization, when I decide for support them people here?
Well, this is not part of we come under part of we service delivery program. Then we focus on health and education. But education very, very important for we as a foundation, because we believe that the growth of every nation depends on how you treat the education sector. And who that thing is strengthening the education sector, not picking them. So if we're not able to catch them young, then we'll continue for complaints, say the standard of education don't drop. So for we put money into this initiative because we go want different sectors of society, different MDs, from the Ministry of Social Welfare, Ministry of Health, Ministry of Basic Education, as well as Ministry of Tertiary Education, and the Ministry of Finance, where they put money, make them all come together and contribute and engage as to how they're able to use the early childhood policy where government don't develop now, so that we all go able to implement them, set up then centers. So for we as a foundation, we put money into this because we want for build the capacity of the Ministry of Education, who they do right now through UNICEF. This project has been going on for the last 2 years, and it will continue till the end of 2020 for make the support, build the capacity of the Ministry of Staff and Ministry of Education, but also for expose them to other things and hopefully get 1 or 2 technical experts and we will support, will hold the hands of the people at the ministry.
Right. With them different books there, we don't help the government, for work. You think say any change go happen at the education sector?
We're really very hopeful because, no say again, the president just appointed another minister there. We're very, very passionate about that sector there. So we hope, say, instead we'll bring your own energy, your own brilliant ideas we don't get over the years for come for apply that one day in the education sector. But also because the president very, very keen on free quality education, they hope say government could continue for putting your money. Yes, we know say at this point government don't put 21% of the national budget to the education sector. We're very good. We'll never see that one day, so we hope say that interest could continue, but not just for put the money, but we put in place systems. We're going to monitor how the resources they use.
So almost not the money will help the ministry with.
That's substantial money. The money not go directly to the ministry, they come through UNICEF where they provide the technical and managerial support for that early childhood development. So that's substantial money where they put into that. Yes, and we'll go launch them on Thursday. We'll launch the 6 books. When a Sierra Leonean then work on them books, then not to bring, we'll bring them come. We'll talk about winter and snow and autumn. It's a Sierra Leonean then where they talk about we own context, we own situation, where the picking up will understand and relate to better.
So Saturday launching will take place?
Go to St. Joseph's Preschool. And that place, now the venue that way the Ministry of Education and UNICEF select. So we did it on Thursday morning for the launch of then 6 picture books.
Well, that's now Joe Pemagwe, the country officer for Osiwa Salone. They talked to Usman Kamara, but one support where Osiwa don't give through UNICEF for the Ministry of Education for support early childhood education in the country. Well, we continue the program, Good Morning Salone, where they come to you from 98.1. 6 minutes after 8, now the time, well, 7 minutes after 8, now the time from the studio clock. We continue the program.
And we still get with studio guests them. We get Abubakar Kamara, coordinator for BAN, Honorable Ibrahim Tawa Conte, member of parliament for constituency 132 sorry, na Lumley, and also Honorable Abdukabo from constituency 77 Akafo Bulom. We continue to look at the year 2020 budget and the Finance Act of 2020. Like come to you, Mr. Kamara from BAN. We dey continue for talk about issues them na the budget, but quickly la bring una to the Finance Act of 2020. It already don't pass by Parliament, and yesterday una issue out a statement as civil society organization them where they monitor the budget process and also the Finance Act. The Finance Act, Ministry of Finance and NIA they put them as a supporting document towards the budget. We mean say this is very important, but now una statement una they call on the presidency let it not sign the Finance Act of 2020, let it think about the love of Salone. What's really wrong, una civil society, una pick inside this act, una say the president of for sign them?
In the first place, this current regime campaign in the platform of transparency and accountability. And in the SAP manifesto, we started to say fighting corruption and increasing accountability. So for we, in the first place, we very feel sad that the Ministry of Finance, we are the ministry supposed to lead in terms of setting example for financial accountability, that the ministry they proposed a bill that already passed, where they gear towards decreasing accountability. We also feel very sad that this particular thing we propose, it also go through cabinet, and cabinet also approve them. They not kick that particular clause out. And we also feel sad that it also go through parliament, and parliament don't approve them, except few parliamentarians there, and one, when I we clearly speak outstandingly that this particular are not supposed for day.
For the sake of clarity, Mr. Kamara,
so
waiting at the exact clause they talk about.
The clause they say the president and the vice president, whether they travel, the pocket money they give them when I impressed, they're not supposed for account for them. So when they take and then go, what they want to do, they're not the account to nobody. And that money that they take, now taxpayer money.
But this be done they happen even before now.
Well, the difference, if you don't be the happen, the difference is now, this current regime want really legalize non-accountability, which is bad. And one thing is, precedent no good. And in fact, it grow. And in fact, we see in 2 days when they put on a parliament, he graduates. He come out from the president and vice president. He don't go out to the speaker of parliament. What that don't tell we say, he got the tendency for move to another level. But the fact of the matter is, government they spend huge money on overseas traveling. When we look at the 2018 annual statement of finance published by the Minister of Finance, for example, in 2017, government spent around 40.2 billion. That 40.2 billion there, where you put the budget for Ministry of Youth, the budget for Ministry of Tourism, the budget for Ministry of Social Welfare, the budget for Fish and Marine Resources, we put it all together. That 40 billion, a big pass, then 4 sections, all in budget for 2018. So that don't tell you say, huge resources they go towards overseas traveling.
You say government they spend plenty couple on overseas traveling, but this same particular government again, where you look at the new direction manifesto under the fiscal policy they would them put together, blocking leakages now one of them be really they emphasize on, say then go block all the leakages, especially one who gets for do it overseas traveling for government official them, ban on the monitor some of them fiscal policy there with some of the things that would happen over the year. You think say President Biodo really work on that promise there?
You know, we normally would talk on evidence, facts and figures. When we look at how much the previous government spent on overseas traveling on 2017 compared to 2018, of course 2018 we get partly APC, partly SPP, but we see a decrease based on published figure to 29.2 billion, but that is still huge. And we see the president put on in executive order 2, where they have to look at expenditure rationalization. The point here is the Public Financial Management Act make them very clear that every taxpayer money should be accounted for, irrespective of who that they use them or who that they request for that particular money day, whether or not the president or vice president is supposed to account for the citizen resources. So to we know what they say, we surprised that the Minister of Finance and the process don't go all through the process also, they don't approve on a parliament, and they appeal to the president. They are in the interest of what they campaign on, increased accountability, in the interest of ensuring that there is value for money, in the interest of upholding the laws them, let not sign this particular act also until they remove completely that aspect where they say the president, vice president, and now the speaker of parliament, the pocket money they get for travel, they're not for account for them. If ordinary civil servants where they go upline, they get 500, 600,000 euros for per diem, where they come, they account for them. What about, we talk about thousands, up to millions of dollars. If you put them, say by the end of the year, millions of dollars be given. So therefore, for we stand very clear, looking at how much money they go overseas traveling, and how much that money they don't do for provide for other services. So we see I'm very clear say the president, vice president, and speaker of parliament for account for that money there, and with the big excellence the president, do you let sign that particular bill there until then remove that aspect of the non-accountable interest.
All right, continue for the week in the program. Abubakar Kamara from BAN in the national coordinator, and they call on President Biono for sign the finance bill, as they say they need for pull one aspect. We say presidents, vice presidents, and also now speaker, not for account on the impress if in case they travel out of the country. Well, we will come back and talk to the two members of parliament and at the program. The time for my studio clock now 40 minutes after 8. Then we make some money.
Better don't come. A Union Trust Bank again. Union Salone Banco. Union Trust Bank get plenty product and service there for you. You must get what you want to go better. Let me savings account, ide. Current account, ide. Fixed deposit account, ide. Credit facility, ide. All for you. Me and you. Union Trust Bank, that's alone for me and you. Kids Future Savings account, ide. School fee savings account, ide. Pay advance salary scheme, ide. We branch and they all up but not alone. Bokono kenema, we ide. Kabala mabogo kakambia, we ide. Jala Freetown don't sa, we ide. And my 91, me and you. Union Trust Bank, me and you. Union Trust Bank, Union Trust Bank, that's alone for me and you. Union Salone Banco, Union Trust Banco.
Union Trust Bank, empowering Sierra Leonean businesses.
We continue with the program. Good Morning Salone, where they come to you from the Society for Radio Democracy, 98.1 FM. Well, before we continue to discussion and come back to a member of parliament, then quickly, I just want to read this notice we come out na the Youth in Fisheries project under the Ministry of Youth. They want to inform the general public, especially civil society organization, them, paramount chief, chairman, and mayor of local council district and chiefdom youth group them say the formation and identification of active fishing youth group them don't begin this project back, and the projects they begin now all the districts them na Cambia, Port Loko, Western Area Rural and Urban District from the 7th to the 29th of November. The ministry wants for inform all young people already into fishing for let them go at the Ministry of Youth Affairs, and then people where they go there, you for be salon person, you for all from 18 to 35, and you for engage in fishing activity them. Where you go to the Ministry of Youth Affairs, ask for the Youth in Fisheries project, the person where they in charge of farm, so that yourself will be part of this particular project.
All right, well, that's now message we come out from the Ministry of Youth. Well, we continue with the program, and we come over to the studio guest them back. I come over to you, Honorable Tawa, as we look at the Finance Act. We already don't pass, but again, they wait for presidents for sign them, and one clause they we don't bring serious controversy over the last 2 days. Under the Public Financial Management Act 2016, they put say, notwithstanding any provision to the contrary contained in this act or any other legislation, there shall be a non-accountable interest to provide for daily international travel expenses, excluding purchase of tickets incurred by presidents and vice presidents. Well, if others say approval for the authorization of use of this non-accountable interest referred to in subsection 5 shall be granted solely by the president. Well, this don't bring controversy, like I say, and Honorable Tawa, now one person will also be Tawa, now Parliament say, because member of Parliament, the speaker said for be included in this. Well, at the end of the day, member of Parliament they agree for this bill, but he left with the president for actually sign them. And when they talk about accountability, who side the president also now one way key about. Honorable Tawa, one that they debate this particular bill before na pass into law, you make not being agreed for make speaker they add and they. But before we talk about Andy, why you think say na a good for make president or vice president or reports or no accounts for impress when they get there for overseas traveling?
Well, first of all, let us start by saying governance and government is defined by your manifesto. And whilst we be the run for the highest seats of Sierra Leone, President Julius Maada Bio, we be always critical and always keen about our manifesto. That our manifesto don't give we the position for take up governance and for run the life of the people of Sierra Leone in the direction where the other sign up they can go. So for me, in that manifesto very critical about Parliament. The manifesto say one of the agencies that were responsible for corruption in Sierra Leone, na Parliament, because Parliament don't renege on the responsibility for look at the Auditor General reports as they come, and there is no provision in the Constitution we say the Auditor General reports for be looked at by the Public Accounts Committee. No provision. The provision in the Constitution say subsection 4 of 93 say the Auditor General report of section 119 rather. The Auditor General report for be looked at by the entire plenary. There is no provision. So for me taking it to PAC, first of all, now a way of begin the cut the report in importance. And now, as a member of Parliament, I think say we suppose for uphold that part of the manifesto and ensure say we translate that picture of Parliament we get to a different Parliament and to a positive Parliament. I asked in the second reading, where we get the second reading debate after the minister already the act for the second term, say law expunge. Well, when we come to the committee stage, members then begin fight for modify them and they include the speaker. And I've heard some school of thought say when they add the speaker and I make I said expunge, they can go to the answered, they can go to the I have recordings of that. If you want to play them, I will make you play them. Yeah, we should clearly say I don't begin criticize them from the second reading that we cannot come to power on the back of transparency, accountability, and for change for what APC they do, and come for begin they see how for bypass the way they call. So for me, the position still remain the same that when they don't go to president, at the joint ban and other agencies there for us, His Excellency the President, not for sign this bill, for return them. Yes, I also say that the president already gets an available pool where they use. And besides this, na president will meet and impress na State House of 2 billion weekly. It reduced down to about between 2 to 500 million in a week. So it shows say this president no want forget that kind of thing. So why is it that people in the fair way or bypass the system and for ask for that kind of thing? For me, it is a very grave, a very serious that we get for Sidom as Parliament and allow that one to pass. And let me make mention of this one that on that day, when we did in the committee stage, after I moved the motion, and when the speaker ruled by voice collection say I lost the motion, I asked for 46-1. And the speaker will don't give me opportunity for let I lost the ballot again, secret ballot. But the speaker overruled say he no go allow 46-1 for prevail. And he put the next question, the next motion was from Olaiwo Laimara for read as the same way, but now including the speaker. So I have heard people twisting it that I was in favor. They would include speaker. What should I have against speaker? In fact, I start my debate by saying, Mr. Speaker, I have nothing against you, not because they don't include the name. The fact now that this now unaccountable provision in this act. And section 65 of the Public Financial Management Act, they talk about payments. And the responsibility of payment in that act, in that PFM Act, rests squarely on the Accountant General. And if we are adding the President for approval, it means part of the responsibility of the Accountant General under Section 65 is partly eroded because you know able to check the one a day. And now he's still responsible for every money where they come out from the consolidated revenue fund. Meaning there would be two levels of accountability, two level of reporting. So for me, I still feel say and I strongly believe say, in as much as there are a lot of good provisions in the Finance Act, but that particular clause for make His Excellency the President return them. As I be asked already expunge them, I hope the President will listen to me. The President will listen to the voice of Sierra Leoneans because I did Benin then yesterday for the last 2 days at the see this media.
Honorable Tawa, quickly, just like how you make mention earlier, over the years, people only accuse una of member of parliament them for the take part pan corruption, especially for pass law them, where the people in fee say no they in them favor. And this particular clause na the Finance Act, it clearly shows say it limits audit salon they work, where campaign accountability and all. You as a member of parliament, you've been in a parliament, talk about the issues there. But at the end of the day, you not been get the majority for back you. We clearly show say some of you can't be MP then satisfied with this particular clause. We bring you back to the issue of corruption, where you talk about member of parliament them not one for be accountable to the people.
Well, in my submission that day, I look at two aspects. The first aspect now that there is a maximum say where you neighbor the bleed, you know they call the ambulance. And for me, the support from the side of the APC is very clear. That the APC, they look at building campaign materials for the next election against the SLPP. And supporting this clause, of course, they don't say bad. I can tell you outrightly, they don't say bad, they agree say bad, then inside their heart, inside their soul, they don't say that's a good provision. But they say, okay, let's give them more reasons for let and do the bad thing, so that the people will know for say, they are not fit for purpose. And we are fit for purpose. We are good for governance. This president good for governance. So the support from the APC is very clear that opposition and I said this in debates. Yeah. Now the issue of parliament, I don't call for the last 4 or 5 sittings on parliamentary accountability, and I will still call for it, and I will still go for it during the debates, during the sub-appropriation. One of the most important thing that to for block parliament in vote until parliament become accountable for the expenditure what they undertake in 2018, 2019. Because parliament they receive money, parliament they go through the appropriation process, parliament they go through the budgetary policy process, parliament they get money from the Ministry of Finance, then they account for her, then they show how they spend them, then just they spend. And you cannot run a system like that. A system has to be run transparently. A system has to be run accountably, and the president run on the ticket of accountability. And if I don't have parliament, I don't help the president for push in accountability ticket. Trust me, I'm not doing anything. I just do lip service. And what I realized by that bill is hypocrisy. Because in the beginning, people were frowning at it. And when Speaker was added, Speaker was quick to rule. And for me, if for that position, I ask himself, say, I have led other organizations. I have led ECOWAS. Is this a precedent that is good? Now, this precedent I go on for lady because of that meaning. For me, these are the things that we must kick against, and we must stand firm. If this nation will go forward, we have to be honest.
As per things in a clue, Honorable Tawadon Giwi, and of course, we'll go take up with the speaker. With the clerk of parliament as exactly administrative aid for
that's parliament need for accounts also.
Of course, parliament need for accounts.
All right, we'll continue for the program. Honorable Ibrahim Tawa Conte, it represents the people in the constituency 132 around Lumley area. Over to you, Honorable Abdul Kabo from Lumley to Port Loco.
Of course.
Honorable Tawa say una support the bill, this particular bill for as campaign material for 2023. But left now and they all come back to the bill. Una support this bill and una pass and una add speaker day. What's it first of all you think about this particular clause?
Let me make this very clear. I don't read a lot of publications on social media. I don't listen to reports on social media. I want to make it essentially clear to the public. Waiting then on social media is a total misrepresentation of what happened in a parliament that very day.
So what happened?
What happened in parliament? Before ever we go on parliamentary sitting, especially on crucial debates, the leader of parliament, now we own side, gets everybody in capability, everybody in area of strength. So what he do? He assign people them for talk on certain clause the way say controversial, and he test the people in capacity and say these people are then good for talk on this clause them. Now what happen? Where they put that clause there na the Finance Act. The person way send the report na social media was not being truthful. The only member of parliament we get the first opportunity for debate na Honorable Daniel Koroma. Honorable Daniel Koroma spent more than 1 hour for convince the speaker, the leader of government business, and the entire house for let them expunge that clause day. He said because that clause day not for day inside the Finance Act.
But we been going to vote.
They come. We going to vote. They come. They reach there. Honorable Daniel Koroma spent more than 1 hour In fact, now that very close, they nine waste time with deliberations that day. Because the leader of the opposition tell and say that clause they not allow it pass na parliament. All of us were against that clause. But I tell you, parliament na experience na get parliament. Even when you debate, you have to have the prerequisite expertise for debate. Yeah, what thing happen? After Honorable Daniel Koma don't spend more than 1 hour, nobody no agree, nobody no listen. Now they me can debate. After me debate, now they Honorable Tawa debate. And in the debate, now they you they able for identify clauses. Now the act where you no want. Honorable Tawa is here seated with me. He did not even pick that clause as part of the clause the way he no want, where he get the opportunity for debate. The only thing we make reference to where he may get the opportunity for debate, now the inclusion of NRA into the TSA. Now he make reference to. So meaning none of them had problem with that very clause they as it were. Honorable Lai Mara is a very experienced MP. What did he do? He said the best way I could get somebody from SLPP for support this very expunge of this very clause, he said, "Let mix the speaker in MD." And no sooner he mixed the speaker in MD, now then we get not Ottawa, we get more than 6 members of parliament from the SLPP where grab we say no them for Pula. In fact, the motion was not only proposed by Honorable Tawa, a motion was proposed by Honorable Gevao. Honorable Gevao put a motion, say let them pull speaker in MD, whilst Honorable Tawa insists, say, well, let them pull everything.
So, according to Honorable Tawa, una na the APC, una aware say this particular
of course,
but una not be support them if they
call
on the speaker for pull and part of the Amendment Act because una want for use them as a campaign.
No. In fact, now we first condemn that very clause day. Honorable Daniel Koroma, I am here. Honorable Daniel Koroma took more than almost 1 hour of parliament. We mean they against them. We mean they. Yeah, I'll tell you the trick where them play Tawa.
Hold on, Honorable Kago.
Yes.
Una been there in support of Honorable Tawa in position.
Definitely.
So wait till make una go into the secret votes.
We're not going to secret vote. Let explain. What happened? Honorable Laima grabbed from his seat. He can't whisper to we. He said the only way we could get this expunge, we know the relationship between SLPP MPs and the speaker. He said, "Long mix the speaker there." He said, "That the only way we." What's
not the relationship?
In fact,
what's not the relationship?
It's controversial with most of them. You understand? In fact, what happened that day? As Honorable Mara sent that motion day, now that time we see people that were not even debate on this very clause. Who were very complicit with this very clause. Now that ended and snap.
So what happened at the
voting process? Yeah, no, at the camp day. What happened as Honorable Mara don't give in your motion. In fact, Nine Tower snap now. Now he say, well, let them expunge everything. He never said that until after Honorable Mara mix speaker. And let's tell Tower waiting in no. In motion was seconded by Honorable AKK.
I know.
When our constituency 59, a member of the opposition. Because all thing now we don't plan them. Say no sooner we mix speaker, then go against her, and when them go against her with the capital. And I tell you, if it Tawa no that motion they way Tawa raise and where Laima raise, Honorable Laima did not vote for his motion. He voted for Honorable Tawa's motion because if he wants, let we get somebody involved in SFPP. Laima has been in parliament for quite a while. He has the experience. And as he sets the game now, so they fall for it. And I'll tell you, what
now I ask you, so now sets the APC sets the game for them.
Yes.
And they base the folly side debate.
Exactly.
Continue for them with
no, I'll just make this point. As he say, una worry about whether the president will sign them or he not go sign them. Of course, we get with ESOs. ESO 42 is very clear that the Speaker of Parliament get the final ruling, and nobody know they reverse the ruling of the Speaker, except on another substantive motion that is preceded by a notice. So what we do immediately after that sitting day, we write a notice where we dey present now to the Speaker for tell and say that motion day we want debate and back.
They lost such notice then.
No, what happened? I sure say.
Recently.
No, I sure say. Public opinion they on we side on this very matter. No, so we don't put no a notice at the camp. We don't put no a notice. Anyway. Somebody not go there propose a bill.
Honorable Ayama propose a motion.
Let go your attention to study under 25C. If you be any intention for move another motion on that one day, 25C say you dey move a motion on a substantive motion immediately where the motion they sit. And I moved for 46-1 for division. The speaker no allow me. If you be one for move another motion, we don't say, Mr. Speaker, Honorable Tawado asked for division, but you did not support. You supported the inclusion of the speaker and the motion holistically because now that the public opinion don't tilt this way, they are trying to fit themselves into public opinion because they think saying a political game for them.
No. In fact, you were being too political.
But I have the
because in you respond, you say you dey go against the bill, the motion, because Abdul Kagbo Dede and Abdul Kagbo go talk against SLPP na all television station. I even had wanted to respond because you have included my name there. Pass where the speaker when you withdraw, you say you withdraw me name. And I tell you, SO 25-2, it clearly states say you for present a written motion to the clerk.
But you have notice. But you guys must give notice.
And the notice.
The honorable member, you guys must give notice. You give all notice. You give all. Let not mislead the public. I don't want to mislead the public. You get responsibility for giving all notice. If you don't give all notice, it shows say you don't get good intent on the motion.
The notice.
So giving a written motion is innocent.
Even if you give a verbal notice. Even if you give a verbal notice.
Look at our parliament order. All right, so they come back to the program. Good Morning Salone. Una relax. We will go to other issue. We'll come back. We will look at this particular clause within this bill. Well, Salone joined other countries them in the world for celebrate 30th anniversary of the Convention on the Right of a Child, where a document to the United Nations been developed for help push Pekin rights go before now the different countries them. Well, inside this celebration, President Dr. Julius Maada say in government no go allow girl picking them we get belle for attend school, but they get the opportunity for come back na school after they don't born. President Bill talk this inside this ceremony and Radio Democracy. Kabia gets more and go now reports.
His Excellency the President Dr. Julius Maada, on behalf of the children of Sierra Leone, I have the honor to present the document titled The Sierra Leone We Want to His Excellency Dr. Julius Maada, the Papa of the Nation.
In name na Khadijatu Kamara, where they attend the St. Joseph Senior Secondary School, Makeni. Been they present the Salone We Want document to His Excellency Dr. Julius Maada, where this na documents where they talk about seeing them, where they affect speaking them na the country. This happen where Salone join other country them na the world. For remember the International Day of the Convention of a Child, where Salone be signed and ratified, but 30 years ago. Ola in Kalaga, na the Commission and the National Children's Commission, talk about the importance of this day.
The UNCRC is exclusively dedicated to children and spells out the basic human rights that children everywhere need. The right to survival, to develop to their fullest potential, protection from harmful influences, abuse and exploitation, and to participate fully in family, cultural, and social life. The Convention protects children by setting standards in healthcare, education, and legal, civil, and social services. Our beloved nation became a signatory to the Convention on the 13th of February 1990 and ratified the Convention on the 18th of June 1990. We also ratified two optional protocols, which are the sale of children, child prostitution, and child pornography, and also the involvement of children in armed conflicts.
Mamadi Gobe Kamara, now the Deputy Minister of Information and Communications, talk about government in commitment for protect speaking and rights na the country.
This show of commitment by our government has been translated into concrete and measurable successes in children's survival, development, and protection through reducing infant mortality, increasing school enrollment, and ensuring that services are in place for the protection of our children. Our government, in recognition of the CRC, has inspired changes and reforms in laws and policies to make children's rights more accessible through enforcement of explicit laws, such as the National Child Rights Act 2007, and that a number of policies and laws have been developed to fully promote children's rights and advancement.
Hushman Motaza, na the acting UNICEF representative na Salone, say for make picking and business go before na the wall. Time don't reach now for make people begin ask picking them for talk about the thing them where they monitor them.
So the challenges are there, but for 21st century solutions, we need to address the 21st century problems with the young people, and that would be our mandate. We are guilty of many errors and many faults, but our worst crime is abandoning the children. Many of the things we need can wait. The child cannot. Right now, her bones are being formed. His blood is being made. To him and her, we cannot answer tomorrow because he, she are the name of today.
The president, Dr. Julius Madabio, where he be address the picking them, he first starts for advise them for take them book learning business serious.
So we are here to celebrate you, to let you know that we care. There's so much to do and there are so many challenges that we face in governance. But we have to remember that our first responsibility is to you. Some of us are midway, some of us are at the end, but even at the end, our future depends on who you are going to be. What sort of political leaders are we going to produce from you? What sort of doctors are we going to produce? Nurses, teachers, lawyers, judges. In making sure that you have the requisite education, we are also thinking about our future. How do we prepare you? Not only to take care of yourself and be productive and useful, but how do we prepare you to take care of us as we expire? So this is a responsibility. And that is why when we talk about education, we are talking from the point of inclusiveness.
The president continues say, in government, no go allow any girl picking we get belly for go school.
We've had a little divergence of opinion on whether we should allow pregnant girls to go back to school and sit in the same. To my mind, I'm very clear about that. I've not seen that anywhere else in the world. You can go back to school after you give birth, but to sit in the same class as all the others is not acceptable. We have been threatened with sanctions if we don't do that, but I have not seen that in the UK. I've not seen that in France. I've not seen that in the United States, and I have lived in those places. We should not succumb to pressure because we don't have it all today. We have to set the brightest example for our children. Teenage pregnancy we should avoid. For you, the young girls, there's so much ahead of you. Please avoid that. Finish your school. Make a choice as to who you want to get married to. You are only as valuable to that husband as what you are bringing to the table. If you can work and you don't have to ask for chop money in the morning, he will value you.
The president end up promise the Pekin and say, in government go address the thing them where they inside the salon we want documents. Pekin will be the part of this program. Begets this for say.
I'm Clifford Hafner and I'm attending Danny Walsh Memorial School. This means lots to me because it takes little for so many people to celebrate such a wonderful program to commemorate the affairs of kids and create awareness about the things happening in the country.
Margaret Conte. That means they don't ever forget we and then always they remember the year. It made them help we forget Braille embosser, Braille paper, computers with frames, dollar subvention go they can fast.
My name is Leone by Camara. They attend the Evening Swell Academy. It's a day like where we all picking them, don't get the opportunity, at least for me to the president, to able to share with views them and talk about the issues them where they face and also ask questions that we pertain to we picking them and get answers them.
My name is Monica Jackson from Kono District. I'm attending the Aladura Secondary School. I presented my project. I am an innovator and also electric tricycle chair.
Then Pikia end up calling on the government of Salone for protect their rights and give them the thing them where they deserve as speaking them. As they say, now then are the leaders them for tomorrow for the Society for Radio Democracy. Kabia the reports.
We continue with the program, Good Morning Salone, where they come to you from the Society for Radio Democracy, 98.1 FM. Well, in case you just tune in, today na the program where they look at the government's budget for 2020 and the Finance Act for 2020, when are the supporting documents where Ministry of Finance and the National Revenue Authority, they put together for support the implementation of the country in national budget. I come to you, Abubakar Kamara, coordinator from BAN. One thing where wey ban state clear from una observation notice wey una poll na the external public debt wey una say e dey on the rise for Salone. The external public debt don increase by 7.2% in dollars and 22.9% in loans from June 2018 to June 2019 for a country like Salone where they get serious economic challenge. If the external debt they on the increase with such figure, what it mean for the country?
Yeah, that calculation is correct. Firstly, debt's not a bad thing. Every government can take debt, but there are a couple of things. One, within the expected government they do the debt, how that money they take they translate in terms of providing long-term investment for the country. What are the returns from that particular debt they take? The other aspect, get for look at where they take debt, you forget ability for pay. What are the government ability for pay? You know, now in IMF then they talk about in their debt sustainability analysis, and we don't see quite recently Sierra Leone debt don't move from moderate to high risk debt, and high risk debt simply means say Salone as a country we get some problem in terms of paying debt that is not too reliable, that it's likely possible that you not going to pay debt. At the same time, we don't see external debt the increase. As it clearly states, from June 2018 to June 2019, it increased by 22.9% in Leone terms. And in the budget speech where the minister led in Parliament, we see USA it talks say paragraph 5, they go for mobilize $613 million, for which 60% now concessional loan. And of course, down there no mathematics. You can tell you say 613, if you take 60% of them, we talk about 367.8 million United States dollar. And we see in the 1 year report where the Minister of Finance published with their website, the new economic management new direction, wherein the government cancelled 2 loans there, where total to 300 million. And the reason we didn't give around that now the aspect of the sustainability. But at the same time, while government cancelled 300 million loan, and at the same time we see the government they propose don't project from now to December for take up to $367.8 million. So we concern here is one, we don't move from a moderate to high risk. We mean say we did at a very bad state around with debt. Secondly, we also worry about the government in commitment for reduce the debt burden, because that are one of the things again with the SFP government campaign. And in fact, one of the things they still in the manifesto that then go put what they call a debt ceiling, that they go put start amount where they say they go borrow within a particular year. Of course, we see that they still they're not able actually achieve that particular one day. And the aspect again, the aspect of because when government they go take loan, it is taken on behalf of the citizens of Sierra Leone. So the aspect of transparency on how they use the loan is key. So we expect the Minister of Finance for increase the aspect of ensuring that citizens know, even prior before they take loan, and even when they don't take loan, on what the loan before, and how they intend for use them, and how that will benefit the citizens of Sierra Leone in the long run. So we expect them for them actually increase that aspect of transparency.
Mr. Kamara, you make mention of different challenges them we currently in at the 2020 budget. But ban one organization we don't they work closely with the Ministry of Finance from when they can start with the budget hearing, say they go ministers that can go read the budgets in Parliament. What you wanna plan for do now with all the challenges and the areas they wanna don't highlight? Wanna plan for GAM to the ministry, or what you wanna plan for do it?
In the first place, we get a very good relationship with the Ministry of Finance, and anything we normally raise, we first forget the data, and of course, now a public document, we'd expect say the ministry go down watch it down, and we will find the platform for us to sit down and discuss some of them particular challenges. There are a couple of things we want to do with the Minister of Finance, where we can discuss and talk about now, because we believe on constructive dialogue. But this now a issue when on public now, it in the budget speech, it in various public documents here. So they highlight this also for a couple of reasons. One, let us see how that help even how they develop budget. Because every year we they see budget deficit they increase. And when they increase, one means of finance the budget deficit for take loan. And when you take the loan, you go for payback. So that the help for increase the debt burden.
Right.
And one of the biggest thing around with debt issue is the aspect of inflation, the exchange rate gain. We they see that's what they don't take 10 years back, what did they pay now? And then at that particular point in time, maybe the exchange rate now be 300,000. Now I don't go to 10 million. So we go for see in a whole process. First of all, how would they manage with budget so that we reduce the deficit? So I know we get cost for more loan, we will have more debt burden on the country.
Continue for the the program, Mr. Kamara. Come to you, Honorable Ibrahim Tawakonte. You don't listen to the statistics where Bandongi, and as a former banker, I know so you're aware of them figures there. So and how alarming them be to a country like Salone where they get challenges with the economy. And you remind the listeners them how critical on have been be with on a fiscal policy and how the president be they emphasize say if he come na power, some of them things then they nothing the way if they frown out and in government no good one. But now on they in governance, so they see the total opposite of what on have been talk inside on a manifesto.
No, what in I would disagree with a little on that. The fiscal regime where the government they pursue, honestly, not they in variance with the pronouncement of the SLP manifesto, neither a day in variance with the two executive orders. The challenge in that like is say we got for rationalize with debt burden, we got for rationalize with debt intake. Yes, the budget they speak to the fact say this time around when they come, the government will pursue more of a concessionary loans or grants. I would say let us focus 75% on grants and maybe 10% on concessionary loans, because we have taken a lot of concessionary loans from the APC days, government is continuity, until now, where the burden of them debt and they some part not begin kicking it, some part in a 30 years span and get. And over the 30 years, we get what we call a moratorium, grace period. Some part debt and for 10 years. So you mean to say the real pressure of some of them debt then they we don't take in 2016, in 2015, and even now some part don't take. For example, the one will take for the fiber backbone from Exim Bank, they're not going to kick in until maybe 2028. So it means what we for doing for rationalize them, but the fiscal regime where the government they pursue in terms of reduction of expenditure. Yes, government don't do well, like instead of acknowledge the government don't do well in terms of reduction of expenditure, but we need for do more.
So I think say the problem they now the Ministry of Finance working day before by the negotiation of them particular loans here for try for see how they maybe then go get grant instead of loans.
Well, I think say the Ministry of Finance they push for get more grant and they need for push better, they do push further. And for me, the negotiation skill of the people who negotiate for and on behalf of governments, I think say they get for in as much as now one they say possible they big, you know they make style, but sometimes we get for payback, not to free they give you. And if we get for payback, we get for take some stand small bits. There was a loan arrangement at some point where we enter into where me realize personally say the biggest component of the loan then get the smallest amount. And for me, and the loan say you cannot rearrange, you cannot do variants, you know they take pulling and the cutting under, very clear about them. So for me, the negotiators, in as much as they will get the same amount, but they for don't ensure say they put their foot down, forget the biggest chunk of the loan for address the biggest portion of the project.
So this brings me back to the question how the legislative arm of government and that of the executive they able for negotiate for ensure say let them agree for different loans and agreements them where they benefit Sierra Leone and them. And again, how una as a parliament they use on our powers, because when I get power for say this particular loan or this particular agreement not they in favor of Sierra Leone, not they pass them.
Well, for where I don't go parliament in 18 months, I don't see outside parliament don't turn down any loan it or any agreement it. And it's not bad for the parliament or do that day, but it also a little bit worrying because we roll for critically look at the document, because every one of the agreement they get provision we say subject to the approval of the appropriate authorities in the country, most times the legislature. So for we
means so they do not properly.
Well, I don't want for say parliament do not properly, but I also want for say maybe parliament don't they give oversight to most of the things the way we need for pay more attention.
But just state here just now say you self don't say particular loan where at some point say it could be a burden.
Yes,
And when I get powers as a parliament for turn down loan the way
in fact on that day, I wanted to make my contribution on that. But I didn't want to. The first day they asked me out of parliament. When they asked the sergeant to throw me out of parliament. So.
All right. They come over to you, Honorable Abdul Kabo. Honorable Tawa believes, as bad as it be from the different money them way Khadija earlier on talk about, and also, what are you take on that?
Waiting worrisome now that when you they take loan for involved in investment, it better. Because if you take loan, you see say you they make the country, you they make road, you they improve the infrastructure, it better than you they take loan for consumption. And waiting happen now that in as much as the budget deficit very huge, all the loan will they take now for consumption. Ask yourself how much road construction they go on right now in the country, now the provinces and as well as the capital. Now all the gentle road that see them they make. You see, so meaning this budget deficit, the loan we then get for take for can't cover up now for pay salaries and now for pay now the new offices the way they don't create. But notwithstanding that, look now, you see, even this finance bill, they talk the only not to the only contending issues. We get several contending issues then some of which I want to go light on. One, you see, say Ministry of Finance, they use up the powers of NPPA so that at the end of the day, they're not go able for review or able to look keenly into waiting they go on in the procurement world. Now look, waiting NPPA do in the procurement of their school bus them 50 school bus them. You see, say the Ministry of Transport approved 7.5 million for the entire procurement. And who said them for go bam? Na China. When then cargo the review na NPPA say no. He say we get 4 million for buy na Germany. We the left arm we go take $7.5 million. So NPPA get for review. Instead of then give our best now the contract, we na 4 million and we na Germany. Then even in the purchasement of school materials, the ministry don't allocate 27 billion for the purchasement of school material. So the same quantity, even more quality, NPPA can say no. This thing I don't say now 27 billion. Look somebody here. If they sell them for 18 billion, why make they go to the 27 billion? We left the 18 million. And waiting the Ministry of Finance do. Then can now with they include they review the act, they review the threshold, then say instead of 100 million now NPPA not put on per any procurement way less than 100 million.
Una be debate. Una be bring them up.
Of course, in fact, I me handle. There is the threshold for NPPA. So meaning not to all thing now NPPA go they put on per.
But Honorable,
so now
during the debate where you raise the issues there where you think say na grey areas them na the budget, una standing orders them una the work with na parliament, give una power as member of parliament, especially una order na the opposition, for put una foot down and tell the speaker say una no want this particular one, especially una in a committee stage.
Let's tell you the style of the parliament way so frustrating. Now waiting and they do where we they go to voting. Instead of it be secret ballot, then they say let everybody snap. I don't see in our parliament a member of parliament if they oppose a bill, if they oppose them, but wait it can't to vote, if they snap a vote for them because not snap what it snap for vote.
Waiting and they show una as member of parliament they protect una political
party.
Well,
so it seems because me Honorable Abdul Kabo not go oppose a bill or oppose a clause, then they say vote. They are vote against the clause where I don't oppose. So this is very serious. And you find out say not even the threshold. Now then they even say the president get right for approved procurement of sensitive security related goods, works and services. The first question I ask myself, waiting at the sensitive related works. For the goods I can understand, waiting at the sensitive related works. The one can build barracks. And my understanding, the president's office, not a procurement office. We get the procurement officers when are the sole responsibility for, and the law, the current NPPA Act, make them very clear, section 1 subsection 3 say, we are the minister responsible for defense
or national security with the approval of the Defense Council determines that a procurement related to a national defense or a national security requires the application of special measure, the application of this rule and the procedure set out in the Act may be modified by the National Procurement Authority, but the modification shall be governed by the Defense or National Security. Now, people that want the hide under say we dey procure sensitive security related goods under the president without reverting to NPPA. So if we dey talk say the country no get money, then we dey talk about excessive spending, you know, in procurement and other areas. We get for ensure say we make laws them where they probe into sincere accountability.
All the issues there where you don't highlight, so they boil down to the area of accountability.
Definitely.
Where people on the accuse una as member of parliament then say una not accountable to the people that we can vote una. With all the issues there we don't raise, so you agree say una as member of parliament them not really accountable to Sierra Leoneans?
Well, interestingly, now that make we always take, well, one of the reasons now that make me and my brother Honorable Tawa decide for come educate the people them and on some of the laws them what will they make and some of the decisions that what will they take. And I'm sure one thing way very, very clear, public opinion, they affect what in parliament they do. And they tell you, when we don't care, go that notice of motion for go debate back this interest for president, and they assure you that we go win that debate day because public opinion don't show say everybody they against that. So with your responsibility now for reports to the people, let's say now this and this we don't do, now this and this now the decision. How will they able influence the decision? And I'm sure say now we all role with the place so as members of parliament for make sure say we represent the people them, we do we oversight and we make law. We not go able to make law where they against the people them.
Thank you very much. Over to you, Honorable Tawa, as we wrap up the program. What if President Bio go ahead and sign this bill?
Well, before I go to the president's signature, I want to correct something quick way me what I say. We say most of the loan the way the government obtain for consumption. That's not true. Government priority varies, and now the priority of government, if you go 75% of the IDB, IDs, World Bank grants, concessionary loans, they will approve, then get for do with supporting agriculture, supporting the energy sector, we would only support all this time, supporting the energy sector and provision for education and small and medium scale enterprises support. Now they don't count with most of them, with the exception of the fiber backbone, we are 30 million for support the expansion of the fiber. We then they also get for do with they speak to the budget in theme for fiscal consolidation for human capital development. You cannot support human capital development if they're not there up to scratch with 21st century technology. So most of the loans they don't obtain, honestly, they are essential and they needed. Just that, like I say, let 75% be grants and let 10% be concessionary. Now, on the president in signature, I appeal to the president, I appeal to His Excellency the President, that the people of this country trust them, and I trust 100%. And I make they do what I think say elect and what I think say best for Sierra Leone. And what thing it will do best for Sierra Leone for return this particular bill and ask that clause 42. Paragraph 5 and 6 be expunged accordingly.
So you support the APC MP then position the right to the speaker?
They don't have a position. That's not true.
Debate the impressed issue back.
They don't have a position. If you have a position, the standing order very clear. The standing order say you get the right for give notice of motion without written notice.
So you not support that in decision?
It is a political gymnastic by the APC now because they see public opinion don't move against the fact that they don't modify. It was the APC, it was Honorable Ayamara that modified the bill and include the Honorable Speaker of Parliament. Yeah. So, and if you say in a game, everybody voted. They voted in mass number. I don't say that to one. I go listen them. Yeah, they voted in mass number. And the fact now that if they wanted a motion that day, if I don't go on 25C, give a notice or don't ask the speaker for support me for let me go on 46-1 and vote privately. But they not do.
Thank you. Quickly, Honorable Abdul Kago. Now, I don't write to the speaker through the clerk in office. And una the option for debate this back, but don't say the speaker kick some of una notice they out through technicality.
Well, interestingly, I want to make them very clear. Say a notice of motion, like when my brother they say, it's not correct. Say a notice of motion, not only verbally you the maker. In fact, if you make notice of motion verbally, you know right as inscribed in SO 25(2). they know they listen to you to you notice. So what do? We don't write, we wait the signature of we leader, we send them to the Speaker of Parliament, and we debate them back. We debate them back extensively. And I sure say now, we brother then go reason with we. I sure say now we brother then don't see with the see. And also, what I want to make essentially clear now that most when you make law, not a one stage involved. The first stage now agenda setting, problem identification. Who side that thing they take place? That now with the executive.
Right.
The executive they sit down, then they write the agenda and say, hey no, the president now he forget impressed, then send them to the draftman. The draftman send them to parliament. So the process not to parliament no more begin. It begin from the executive to the draftman to parliament. Now they say no, this is not for pass.
And I will tell you, Honorable Abdul Kagbo, we not get better time again. I come over to you, Mr. Abubakar Kamara, from the Budget Advocacy Network. It's still on this signing of if President signed this bill, what this go mean?
We will be left very much disappointed that the platform upon which the current government campaign on, then don't begin the move away from them, and not only move away from them, now they pass law where they even go against the current platform where they campaign on, like the aspect of increased accountability. And me, the council continue for appeal to His Excellency the President that do let us sign that bill until they kick out that particular thing. Right. Because it's not about the president, it's about how that can be misused. That's not a recipe for corruption. Take impress, mind not to the president the whole impress do and no account for him. Now a recipe for corruption. Right. So we appeal to him and we don't see how the fight against corruption done, they move to a higher level. So we don't want any law or policy where they gear towards limiting the space for accountability. Right. And we urge them, please, let us sign that particular bill, law day.
Thank you so much, Abubakar Kamara, Coordinator for Budget Advocacy Network BAN, and Honorable Ibrahim Tawa Conte, Member of Parliament for Constituency 132, Nalomli and some other area them, and also Honorable Abdul Kagbo, Member of Parliament na Constituency 077 na Kafubulom Chiefdom. Thank you, Onakam, na the program. Well, now they end the program Good Morning Salone for today on edition. Now Michael Sambola and Alex Lawrence Coleman then produced the program. DJ Lava give you technical support, Moses Kavora and in team. Now they make una watch we live now Facebook page. Mina Khadija Bangwa they say have a nice day.
Mina Asma James they say goodbye.